can I bring up something that I saw on social media?
You can bring it up. I already know what it is.
When are we going to get the ACR?
Hey guys, welcome back to Scaling the Outdoors. We have a really exciting guest today on the podcast, Erik Jacobson from Bushmaster. So Erik is the CEO of the company, and we're so excited to have you here. We've got so many questions about your background, the business, and where it's going. And so welcome.
Thank you.
We're really excited to have you here.
It's been great so far, man. You got a great property here that you took us out to. This is awesome.
Yeah, so this place is really cool. So we're out at Ranger Ridge. It's a place that 2,600 acres. It's a paradise. We've got over 1,500 animals out here. We're out cruising around seeing zebras and bison and elk and so it's good. We got to shoot a couple guns, which is really cool. So you guys launched the new Bushmaster boar, and and then we're going on a hog hunt.
Brought some down with us.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what we can do.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, look, I really appreciate you coming out down to Texas to come hang out. I want to learn more about you. Tell me about your background.
So, graduated high school in 2018. Went straight into the Marine Corps for 4 years, from 2018 to 2022, and then got out of the Marine Corps, and here I am at Bushmaster.
Wow,
that's quite a ride.
It is quite a ride.
That's like trial by fire. You just jumping in.
Yeah, a little bit. Baptism by fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of growing pains, but it's a fantastic position, fantastic company. I have an amazing team that really deserves all the credit. But it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. So how old are you?
I'm 23. I'll be 24 in July.
Mate, if I was the CEO of a globally renowned firearms company at 23, I'd
shoot. So, I remember when I was 23, and I was teaching school, and high school kids thought I was a student, not a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, at the time,
I'd be wrong to not say that. My father owns the company, and kind of under some circumstances put me in the position for a temporary hold, and then I wanted to do something with the company while I was there, and he saw the momentum I was carrying with my team, and just decided to keep me. So I wouldn't say it's nepotism, but it's a lot of hard work, but a little bit,
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes it helps to know the right people.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So talk me through. So you were in the military, and kind of talk to me through that kind of transition from coming out of the military, and then joining Bushmaster, and then kind of taking it over.
Yeah, so I guess I should start with the circumstances of why I left the military.
Sure.
So when the whole COVID-19 vaccine was mandated for military, I was one of the guys that raised my hand and said, hey, I got religious reasons to why I'm not going to take this. So I submitted a religious exemption. I fought that for a year. I got denied. I appealed it, and I got denied again. And 4 months before I left the military, unfortunately, the Marine Corps decided to kick me out. So they gave me a general under honorable conditions, code on my DD-214, and I'm still fighting that because I don't accept that. That's not right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I left the military. I decided to stick to my religious beliefs and not get that shot. So that was a personal choice I made on that behalf. But then got out of the military 2022 and worked for Franklin Armory, believe it or not, a little bit. So there's a little gap where I worked there. And then, like I said, my father needed me to fill a position for a temporary hold, and ended up making it happen, so he kept me.
Sweet.
So
wow.
I love it. Very noble of you, by the way. Thanks for your service.
Of course, thank you.
And thanks for standing in what you believe in, right?
Well, kind of like Bushmaster, it's the values and the American values that we hold dear.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
So tell me about Bushmaster today. Obviously, it's gone through a long history. It's 51 years old. It's been around for a long time. It's gone through lots of transitions, different ownership. But talk to me about what the business is today.
So we purchased the brand in 2020. I came in on the team in, I think it was June of 2023. So we're kind of going back to our roots when it comes to the brand. That ABCs back in the day, it was what was that? Armalite, Bushmaster, and Colt. That quality, that original quality that Bushmaster had, that's what we're doing. That's what we're bringing back. I'm not going to say anything on the previous owners of Bushmaster, but I think there was a point in time where we kind of strayed from that. So we're just going back to our roots and bringing back like old retro guns like the A2. That was something that was requested, and we saw there was a market for it, and we want to give the customer something that they can appreciate. Kind of compare it to their old Bushmaster that they had back
People
in the
love
day.
the A2.
They do, yeah.
Huge, like, it's awesome. It is really interesting hearing you say the ABCs, and, you know, because leading up to this podcast and knowing everything that I know from a consumer standpoint, you know, when I hear about Bushmaster, it is ABCs, whether it's Google search or on Reddit or whatever. It's exactly what you said. You guys were a pillar in the firearms industry, and it's time for you to be the king in return and take your crown back.
Well, an interesting thing with that too is, you know, Armalite and Colt didn't really sell too much to the, you know, civilian market.
Right.
And that's when Bushmaster stepped in and said, you know, hey, you know, we're going to manufacture a great quality rifle for an affordable price for the civilian market. So nowadays we got a bunch of AR-15 companies out there, and it's pretty saturated, but nothing with over 50 years of legacy.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the questions I had for you is now that, you know, you guys have your own specific caliber. That helps. Having a SAMI approved, the 450 Bushmaster, then, you know, that already sets you apart. But in a ocean of AR-15 manufacturers, what's your plan for the future of Bushmaster and to reestablish?
Well, new products, they definitely drive the industry. So Bushmaster, I got to be limited with my words, but we are definitely working on new products. We're listening to our customers, what, you know, they say on social media and elsewhere. And we're working on a couple projects that, you know, I think people will appreciate.
Can I bring up something that I saw on social media?
You can bring it up. I already know what it is.
When are we going to get the ACR?
So again, I got to go back to being limited with my words, but I can tell you it's not a dead platform.
I think the thing with the ACR is I don't think I've ever seen so much feedback about a specific product. I mean, if you look across every YouTube channel, every Instagram post that you guys have posted in probably the last year, I would say 90% of the comments are asking, where's the ACR? What's happening with the ACR? Do we have an update on the ACR? People want the ACR.
Yeah, there's trollers out there, man. They're getting us.
Yeah.
But again, it takes time. And again, I won't say too much, but it's not a dead platform.
Yeah.
Dude.
And just a bit of context. So the ACR is the adaptive combat rifle. So it's a rifle that was been around, it was launched, 10 years ago?
Yeah, early 2000s, yeah.
And it was discontinued. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of feedback.
And it was my favorite weapon to play in Call of Duty.
Well, that's why people like it.
There's a lot
that's
of
why people like
guys
it.
that know it because, you know, it's MW2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Modern Warfare 2 was the best.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm still young enough to play video games and know what you're talking about. You know? So.
I mean, there is a certain aspect of, you know, for example, like John Deere tractors. What makes John Deere set apart from all these other tractor manufacturers is not necessarily their product. It's the fact that every toy tractor's painted green and nothing runs like a deer, and like these slogans that are catchy and ingrained. Having a firearm that's in a video game that people are like, oh, I can get this in real life, like, you know.
Well, and there's a couple key features with the ACR too. There's parts and barrels and things like that I know the consumer definitely appreciates.
Yeah.
Customizability too. So
yeah,
grown man's Barbie doll.
It definitely is.
Grown man's Barbie doll.
Or Legos. Yeah, grown man Legos. Yeah.
Yes.
So going back to Bushmaster, so as a young leader, how has that kind of what has that journey been like? Taking control of a business, you having to balance the heritage of something that's been around for over 50 years, and there's a lot of legacy, a lot of brand perception, there's a lot of brand value that's been built, but then it's been through a turbulent time, and now you're stepping in as the new young guy, looking at the future, and I would imagine coming with a really fresh set of lens on the potential of what this brand could be.
Well, it's definitely big shoes to fill in.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'd like to think I brought to my team, the Bushmaster team, is just that good leadership ethics of the Marine Corps. That's definitely something that I instilled, you know, proper communication. We said in the Marines that communication is key. And that's definitely taken us a long way. And just sticking to that 100% American-made American labor, everything 100% American made, not compromising with that at all.
Yeah.
Those couple factors are definitely something that I think this brand holds dear. And then again, new products. I know I mentioned it before, but that's what drives the industry, and bringing those types of things to the market is what the consumer is looking for.
Yeah, gotcha.
Can you expand more on what you've learned from the military and how you apply it to your leadership?
Don't have an ego. I tell my employees, hey, I leave my
Leave it at
ego
the
at the
door.
door
Yeah.
every single day. It takes a team to row the boat, and I couldn't do it by myself. I'd like to think I just steer. So, just not having an ego about things, and just being transparent with my team and be like, hey, here's where I'm taking the company. And, thankfully I got a bunch of employees that are on board with that, and they're invested emotionally into Bushmaster. I mean, every single one of our products is 100% start to finish, QC'd and built by one or two armors. I mean, it's almost like a Rolex watch, and that's how we produce things, and it's a quality product. We spent a lot of time on QC. That is something that I was pretty hard pressed on when I joined the team, and so we're just making sure that customer is getting a solid, reliable product, because if they ever needed to grab that in a situation, where it needed to be a tool to save their life, we want it to work.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me ask you a question real quick about Bushmaster and selling to the civilian market versus military contracts. And a lot of firearm manufacturers in the past have, they're focusing only on military, or maybe we're only civilian. What's the future for you guys? Are you trying to, is your plan to retake market share and go mil spec, or, how does that work out?
Well, obviously, producing a quality product is going to be step one, whether it's a new product or it's AR-15 like we produce now. I'm sorry, what was your question again? It was just kind of the
Are
vision.
you going to be going down the direction of like chasing more military or more kind of mass consumer?
Military contracts are cool, but I think our loyal customers are the civilian populace.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at, and that's what Bushmaster is known for. So that's probably going to be our primary goal, to answer your question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And so when you sell to the civilian market, what is your I guess split between selling via distributors versus selling like either direct to consumer or through other means?
Well, I mean, we do sell to dealers, distributors, and to the
Yeah.
customer on the website. Obviously, they
Yeah.
goes through an FFL and gets
Yeah.
transferred. So it's pretty broad when it comes to that. We don't necessarily have a specific path we're going to take if it's
Sure.
just distributors or just dealers, but again, just providing that end consumer with a quality product, whatever path we take.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to jump back real quick to your military experience and transferring that into the leadership in your role as CEO of Bushmaster. There's already a culture within a company, and then here you come and step in. You, obviously being the head, you get to steer the ship, like you said.
Mhm.
Is there an ethos, or is there a culture that you want to establish within the industry or your business, or what do you use as models that you base it off of?
Well, it's going to sound cheesy, but honor, courage, commitment is what the Marine Corps goes by, and I think that's kind of falls in line with Bushmaster's values. Since we purchased the brand, I guess you could say it's a little undetermined, and it's open for my interpretation.
Yeah.
As the leader of the company, but I'd stick with that. Honor, courage, commitment. Committing to a solid product, not compromising. And getting material from somewhere outside the U.S. or something like that. So yeah, to answer your question, just keeping those core values.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, and I'd add integrity in there. Definitely goes a long way, especially in this industry and as a leader. So,
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, I was never in the military or whatever, but I think I do sports. I played college football and played at a higher level. And so you have that training, and you start to instill values of hard work, discipline, and, you want to make sure that your company and your employees are living it, right?
yeah.
And then your product shines through that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure with sports, there's a sense of mental discipline that comes with physical discipline.
Mm.
I joke around with the guys at my shop that I'm going to install a gym at the Bushmaster location so we can get a squat PR in at lunch or something like that. So it does go to show the mental discipline and uh, really the mental, what's the word I'm looking for? The Yeah, really just discipline. We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
Escape me. So
Yeah. So as you kind of stepped into this role, uh, as a leader, in the past where I've stepped in as CEO for different companies, there's always an element of uh, you don't want to walk in with the new agenda and just say we're gonna change this on day one, because you need to kind of feel out where the business is at,
definitely.
and you need to get an understanding of kind of what makes the business tick today, what's working, what's not. And so it's really much a listening exercise in that early stages to kind of gather a lot of information. But then it is your job to then say, well, what are we going to keep? What are we going to not keep? And what does that journey look like? That path. What was that process for you like? Because you're about a year into the role now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, having no ego, I walked in there and I intended people to treat me a certain way, being as young as I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of let it brush off my shoulders. Thankfully, I didn't really have to deal with that too much.
Mm.
And I just listened, like you said. I saw what they were doing and just put my 2 cents in on how I can improve that. And some things I was right about, and some things I have been wrong about. And that just goes to show with like everyday things, nothing with production or the product or anything like that. But you just being humble about it, just not going in there thinking that you're head honcho
Yeah.
and that you're going to make this work just because you said so. Really, it's my team. I'm very team oriented.
Yeah.
I could not do it without them. They really do. They're the heart and soul of Bushmaster. They really are. I'd like to think I'm again just steering the rudder. That's it.
Mhm.
I love
So fascinating. When did Bushmaster go from an East Coast company and end up in Nevada?
2020 when we purchased it.
Okay,
Yep.
so what was that like relocating an established business?
Well, I wasn't there when they relocated, but it wasn't too difficult. When we purchased the brand, it was just intellectual property. No, not really any materials or anything like that. So,
Sure.
taking those great ideas and that information and then just taking it to Carson City and making a good product.
Yeah. When we were out at the range shooting here before this, um, I didn't realize that you guys make your own proprietary triggers. Your trigger is the Bushmaster trigger.
Yes, sir. DM2S.
That's I think you're the only one in the industry for the AR platform that makes that.
Well, there's plenty of 2-stage triggers out there, but yes, the DM2S is a Bushmaster proprietary trigger.
Yeah. How much focus on that is a selling point for Bushmaster?
It's a selling point for sure. There's a lot of, like I said, though, there's a lot of 2-stage triggers out there, not to dilute the, DM2S trigger at all, but, it's a good trigger. It's solid. It's reliable. I've had no issues with it. I've shot many, many guns. I think, Chris, when we were at SHOT Show,
Yeah.
we had less than ideal weather.
Yeah.
And we had one gun go down, and that was a 450, but it's because it had to be cleaned.
Yeah.
That was it.
Mm.
So it's a very quality trigger, if that's what
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're asking.
No, when I think Bushmaster, I think black rifles, and so there's a lot of black rifles out there. So when you are like, okay, we're going to take back what was ours.
Mhm.
The Bushmaster is coming back. We are here. Hear us roar. What's setting you guys apart moving forward?
Well, setting us apart is Bushmaster's never going to sell you price.
Yeah.
There's a lot of $300 to $400 guns out there, AR-15s out there, and I have nothing bad to say about them whatsoever. But I don't know if they're 100% American made. Again, that's something Bushmaster has. Does that company have over 50 years of legacy? Again, I'm just speaking vaguely.
Yeah.
We're going to sell you that reliability, that balance point between reliability and price point. So it's
Yeah.
going to be that affordable rifle that you can buy, and it's not going to break the bank. And it's your everyday rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bushmaster, the everyday rifle manufacturer.
Yeah.
That every person, every American,
Yep.
like go out and get it. You're
I mean,
red-blooded. And
we talked about it a little earlier, but if I had $1 for every time somebody said the first AR I bought was a Bushmaster, you know,
I must
might
have-
not need to work, you know. So
I must have heard that 3 times at SHOT Show when we were at the Bushmaster booth and then talking to a couple of different people. I 3 times I heard that.
Yeah.
People was like, my first rifle was a Bushmaster.
yeah,
Yeah.
it almost was mine.
Yeah.
I had it in my hands, but the day that I went to purchase, I didn't have the funds, and so I had to wait a little longer. And when I went back, it was sold out. No surprise,
Yeah.
right? And then so I had to go to a different gun shop that they didn't carry Bushmaster at the time.
well, and the to add on that too, you know, something I hear with those guys that say the first rifle they bought was Bushmaster was it still works. I haven't changed any of the parts. I clean it every now and then, and it works great. So I think that stands testament to our products. I mean, again, going back to our roots with that reliability and focusing on QC and making sure that the customer is getting exactly what they pay for.
So as you look forward, where do you want to take the business? Where do you want to take the brand? Like, you know, without getting into specifics of products and stuff that is in the R&D pipe, but in terms of like where you want to take Bushmaster as a company, what's your vision for it?
Back to where it was before. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Johnny hinted at it a little bit, you know, with the ABCs.
Yeah.
You know, Bushmaster was top of the line. It was something that everyone owned and everybody knew. And I think there's been some mistakes made by previous people. And you know, my biggest thing is I don't want to make those mistakes. I want to work hard and be able to make sure that this brand is what it used to be.
Yeah.
Your guys' logo is awesome. Can I just say that? I mean, there's not.
I think so too. But
No, I mean, for real, there's it stands out beyond just the firearm industry, which I think is super cool. You know, like a Nike swoosh.
Mm-hmm.
You see the swoosh, you know it's Nike.
I actually, you can see Chris has his Bushmaster shirt on, and that was the old logo with the arm pistol, and
Yeah.
I think that one's pretty cool too. But the new one we have now is modernized for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, branding's so important. You know, I'm originally from the state of Washington. I moved to Texas, and you quickly learn, like, we throw the concept of a brand out.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, this is my brand. I'm creating this or that, but like the brand Bushmaster is a hallmark.
Yeah, you know, I hear it a lot right now. Still, I'm not sure why, but people don't know we're back in business. We're back in Carson City now, and we're manufacturing. But yeah, everybody knows the brand. I mean, you tell people that aren't gun people, they know who Bushmaster is.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really good question. So growing the business and that foresight going forward, what steps, how do you allocate to resources or focusing? You know, social media takes over nowadays. Is what gets the word back out for Bushmaster?
Well, hopefully this podcast.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, just hitting the social media for sure. We definitely are putting good stuff out there now, and you know, advertising and things like that definitely work. But you know, it's providing that quality product that you know someone buys at a gun shop, and then they go tell their buddy, and you know that word spreads, and that, oh, I'm gonna go buy Bushmaster now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is again, you know, with the quality of the product, I think is the most effective way of letting people know we're back and what we are doing.
Yeah. Word of mouth is powerful.
It is.
I talk about this all the time when
Yeah.
it comes to hunting. Is like, if you view something as it's the best, the first thing you do is go tell everyone, like, oh, you got to try it.
Exactly
You got
right.
to try it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Bushmaster's back, baby. We never left. We're here.
Yeah.
And you got go get yourself one. Let's put it in the hands of every person.
Yeah, yeah. And as someone who runs a business, like I'm always looking at advertising and like how do we reach more customers more effectively. Something that I thought was interesting that you guys recently did, you sponsored a motocross rider.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to correct you, and you have to excuse me. It's a supermoto rider.
All right.
Yeah. So
supermoto
I'll
rider.
talk about Cameron. Cameron Bellamine is our sponsored racer, and it's kind of like a Nevada thing. So I love motorcycles, along with my love for firearms is motorcycles, and I
Yeah.
think that pool of man is pretty popular.
Yeah.
It's funny when you show up to our shop in the summertime, you'll see a bunch of motorcycles parked out because same dude that likes ARs is the same dude that likes motorcycles. So yeah, we sponsored Cameron. He's doing a couple races for us. We got him a whole set of Bushmaster graphics for his, I think it's a FS, Husqvarna FS 450. So
Amazing.
he does great. That guy wins like all the time.
Yeah.
I actually race, when we race in Reno, I race not with his class, but on the same, race day and everything. And watching him go out there just sliding that back tire in is just amazing, especially with Bushmaster graphics. But,
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You guys gonna get into NASCAR?
it's not out of the cards, but I don't know any NASCAR guys. So
Might have to fix that.
yeah, maybe.
Might be able to fix that.
I bet you there's a lot of rednecks that like AR-15s, watching NASCAR. So,
Oh yeah,
100%.
you bet.
and I mean redneck in a non-offensive way because I am one myself.
No, that's like in the most Texan way you could say it.
There you go. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, it's a compliment.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, being 23 years old and the CEO of a company, how much internal reflection do you spend on how you show up for yourself every day and also for your company?
So, again, going back to like being physically disciplined, I think it translates to mental discipline.
Mhm.
And I start my morning usually around 5 o'clock. And the first thing I do is I kind of get my coffee and hang out for a second. And then I go down and I got a Bowflex machine that I work out on, and I hop outside if it's wintertime. I have this trough that it's just filled with water. It's basically cold plunge because it freezes over where we're at. And I do that, and it kind of puts me in that right mental space to where I can go in and handle, any issues or projects that we're working on. So having that done, just like having that hard part of the day start in the morning, I feel like it sets me up for success every single day when I walk into work, no matter what the issue is or, tasks that I need to accomplish. I'm really in a good, clear mental spot, and my hardest part of my day is behind me. So
Yeah,
I love that.
dude.
I love that.
I know guys
It's
are like,
very-
people that cold plunge talk about cold plunge more than they cold plunge. So yes, I'm one of those
right.
guys.
It's like vegans. Hey, did you know I'm a vegan? Hey, did you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a vegan. I'm just saying.
You just had me
vegans,
going for a second.
They
I was
talk
like, wait,
about it like
you think you know someone?
Yeah. Right. No, I love meat. I'm a carnivore.
Yeah. No, we were talking about the carnivore diet. Yeah.
I love it. Do you read books? Do you find yourself diving into, people that have shown success in the past? And
Not as much as I should, but yeah, Jocko Willink is actually. I don't know if you saw my email. I put
Yeah, the
was
quote at
it
the bottom.
freedom equals discipline or discipline equals freedom? I might have mixed that up.
Yeah.
And it's a quote that I put at the end of my email because reading his book, what was it called?
Extreme Ownership.
Extreme or Complete Ownership or something like that.
Yeah.
I read that in the Marine Corps, and that stuck with me. And that's kind of where, like, leaving my ego and stuff like that, that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
And that was a good book. I definitely admire Jocko, and I think he's got his, he knows what he's doing, and when it comes to making sure your mind is mentally prepped.
Very cool. So thinking about, our audience who is founders and executives of outdoor brands, what advice would you have as someone who's, well down the path of kind of building out and continuing to build, a legacy brand? What advice would you have for someone who's potentially starting up or trying to scale?
Like starting in the firearms realm or just in general?
An outdoor brand. It could be camping, hunting, fishing, golf, action sports, you name it.
Have a good team
Mhm.
and take care of your team.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things you can do by yourself, and I'd like to think I work very, very hard and putting this brand back on top. But again, I could not do that without my team. So make sure that when you assemble that team, you're getting good people, and then you're also taking care of them.
Yeah.
That's huge. I know there's somebody that's going to watch this and be like, "Oh, well, you didn't take care of me on this." No, I'm just kidding. But
To that guy, shut up.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry, Steve. Man.
But yeah, really, it's
that's
a
really
team.
important.
Teamwork is, again, I'm just so focused on that. That's how things get done. That's how I did it in the Marine Corps, and that's how I do it still.
Amazing.
The military aspect of that is a huge part of your everyday life.
unfortunately, yeah. They
How
brainwashed me.
with that being, it's not for everybody, right? But there is the mental toughness, the authenticity, the endurance, the grit that comes with that. And I'm a huge proponent of living what you do. So it being a firearms company and you having a military background and all of that. Are your employees like, is there company shooting days or company range days, or like the culture that you're building within?
You know, that's a good idea. I probably should do a range day at some point. I haven't done that, but I'll set sales goals for my team. And out of my own pocket, if we reach those sales goals, hey, let's go get lunch. And I'll take them out to lunch of wherever they choose, you know. Just please don't choose Hell's Kitchen, you know. So, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so we'll do stuff like that. We do Christmas parties, obviously, and things to that nature. But yeah, range day, that's a good idea. I should get them to do that, and I bet you they'd have a good time.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, use the product, know it, be it, live it.
Yep, definitely.
I
Very
love it,
cool.
man.
Well, look, I want to thank you for coming out and coming on the podcast. It's been impressive to kind of get to know you and get to know kind of your story and kind of your vision for the business moving forward. You know, you're definitely while you're so young, you definitely have a maturity well beyond your years,
Thank you.
and it's really cool.
Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys spared you know, no generosity taking us out here. This is awesome. I'm very excited for hunting tonight. This will be
Yeah,
great.
I mean, it's a little cherry on top, right? To be able to,
A little bit.
yeah,
that's if we get something. Yeah.
yeah, we'll get
But
some.
look,
I'm pretty sure we will.
there is no shortage of hogs in Texas, and so shooting the Bushmaster boar, which is a key reason we wanted to come out here and kind of get to shoot that rifle. It's going to be a pretty fun night.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
So,
I gotta kind of show you guys why every Marine's a rifleman.
yep.
There
All
we
right.
go. Did you bring any crayons with you?
No, I ate them on the way. No, I'm just
Gotcha.
kidding. I knew that one. I get told that one all the time.
I love it.
Amazing.
Well, hopefully you'll get to eat some hog meat tonight.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, thanks again. And
Thank
we'll
you guys.
Talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, Chris and Johnny.
Yeah, thank you.